Hi guys, welcome back to the Dance of Evolving. I wanted to record session 2 of how to live a life free from fear and anxiety because, well, I woke up this morning after recording the first one and truly felt that ease and that peace that we spoke about in the first video. And I was just going on a walk with the dogs and just saw the way that the day was unfolding without me needing to control it. And I wanted to record the rest of the content that I had written down while it was really fresh on my mind. So it could just be truly authentic. And so here we go. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel and you're loving this content and it's encouraging your spiritual journey, feel free to subscribe and liking and to get the notifications. All of that helps in supporting the message and spreading the message on YouTube. I'm learning all of this. I'm new to the YouTube journey, but I'm enjoying sharing the message here on YouTube because this is actually, I've been listening to YouTube almost every day, and there have been so many leaders who have been sharing their message and they've helped me. So as soon as I learn something, I want to be able to share it, and hopefully I'm able to help you guys each day. But let's talk about what we learned in the first video about how to live a life free of fear and anxiety, because I think that's kind of what we all want. Fear is an underlying issue in all of our lives, and it subconsciously drives all of our decisions. It drives all of our actions. It affects everything in our life and everyone in our life. And so what we want our goal to be is to wake up to experiences and things unfolding as they should, whether or not we're trying to grasp our control, and to be able to feel a peace and a grace and an ease in a way that we can be so fully present in the day and with our purpose and with our one soul signature, our one magnified version of ourselves that only we can offer in that day, and to where we can create exactly what we're supposed to create that day. That is our goal. And the thing is, fear and anxiety can truly hold that back. Follow that inner knowing, and we stay true to ourselves, and we are in alignment with our body and our mind and our soul and our spirit. That requires letting go and surrendering to the fear. In order to feel the surrender, it's not that we overcome or take control of the fear. It's actually that we surrender to the fear and the worry. And then instead, we have the unfolding of events. We just let them just lead themselves, and we become a vessel to serve within those unfolding of events, if that makes sense. Because when we stay focused on the worry, we actually stay blinded on the story that we've created for ourselves. And we all create stories. I mean, from the moment that we're children, we have these templates that form our identity. We create stories for ourselves of what we should be, and what people should think about us and everything. And when we actually become willing to part ways, and I feel like this is the time to do that. I'm seeing so many people starting to be willing to shed these stories and these templates and these identities that we've taken on for so long in our lives. But when we're willing to part ways with what has been familiar and comfortable in our old belief systems, and then we face the new and the uncertain is a bit scary, but it's so awesome because the familiar is not the best for us. The familiar actually repeats patterns that should be lessons. I know I mentioned in another video of mine that life is a school of lessons that we are strong enough to learn and to learn these lessons and then to grow. But if we don't learn these lessons, we're going to continue in these cycles of patterns, and they become generational patterns actually. And so it can be up to us to actually break these patterns and affect future generations. It's like, whoa, it's really cool. So when we become willing to part ways with what is familiar, with these old patterns, and become uncomfortable become comfortable with being uncomfortable and shed these old belief systems and face the uncertain. Only then does the unknown come into your life greater than ever. And it's like a gift. This starts to dissolve the boundaries between my doing and life's doing. Because I realize my job is not the doing every day. I embrace life's doing. It's already happening. I can embrace this. And I started to notice that anything we accumulate in life is always going to be plagued with uncertainty. And if we take ownership of everything we do and everything we have, we try to clench onto, and we fall victim to every event in our life and try to control it. And we feel like we have to protect and hold on to it and try to keep things from leaving us. It's like, it's painful. Every event that could be a beautiful experience and something that we learn from then becomes a painful experience and something that we're dreading could leave us and that we try to control, and then becomes a place of need for us. It's actually something that we do, and it's something that we can control if we do. But it starts with that awareness. So this is where we start to live in trust and where we surrender and think like, make anything of my life. This is where I look up to God, not my will, but thy will. And how can I serve? And so it does become bigger than you. Your worry doesn't become the focus, but how you can unfold and learn and serve within these unfolding of events becomes more of the focus. When I realize that when we look to God, or I know, as in, and we see he has the bigger picture, or, if you think, the universe, the divine, however you see whatever's bigger than us. I look to God, I pray to God, and I know that God is bigger than me. I know that God has a plan, and that there's something bigger than me that has already predetermined a path for me. And this path has been paved, but it is up to me to make the decisions, the wise decisions, to go on this destined path that will make me feel fulfilled, and then also will benefit everyone around me. And so I have to let my life flow in whatever direction it must, truly, feel free to flow. And once you get in tune with yourself to a certain extent, and you line yourself up with who you authentically truly are at your core, it's almost like there's no turning back. You can't go back to all those templates that you used to be, and the people pleasing, and the constant worrying and the fear, because it's a choice of misery. And it's literally, in one of my videos, I gave a visual of like putting your head in the sand. And that is what it's like. You serve zero purpose to the world when you choose fear and guilt and worry and anxiety every day, because you are actually not fully present, and you do not create, and you do not fulfill your purpose for that day. So we are supposed to be in the here and now. And when we realize our job is to remain authentic to ourselves and to surrender to the flow of the path of least resistance and to serve and to grow, and then suddenly we feel much more at ease, and we have the peace and the grace to create and to be more in the present. This is where we're supposed to be, in the here and now. And it's the opposite path of fear and doubt and even the anticipation of anxiety, because we know in the end that what doesn't work out for us wasn't meant to work out anyway, and that there's nothing that we could have done to control it. And so we don't even have to beat ourselves up, or we don't have to feel shame. We can forgive ourselves. We can still feel that divine love within us that we need to have our cup filled before we go and fulfill what we need to do in that day for the world. And there's a lot in knowing that something is better along the path, and everything that doesn't work out is meant for us to grow into something bigger, and then therefore to serve. it's such a powerful message to remember each day. Ultimately, it's a surrender to life and knowing that life takes care of life. It's like, it sounds a little cliche, but it's so true. And I'm aware, guys, that life is more than like, oh, I'm going to lose my job, or, oh, I'm worried about a relationship. Life is full of tragedy. So what I'm talking about today is actually being able to have this peace in the most tragic events and feeling this surrender and being able to surrender without fear and keeping that inner knowing that things will still. So I'm going to give a personal experience that transformed my life. And it shows that if someone is willing to surrender to this, that you not only transform your own life, but you can transform those around you. And I'm going to try not to get emotional talking about this. My father lived such an excellent example of this. He was an engineer growing up, as he raised us. And it's interesting because I just found his journal. And it's like the size of a checkbook. In fact, hold on, I'm going to pause this and I'm going to go get it just so you can see. Okay, so here is the journal. And it says DCM, Douglas Chester Moody, Personal Miscellaneous Prayer Journal To-Do List. He wrote in this from age 40 to 63. He would write in it, it's my dog snoring down there. He would write in this at his lunchtime at work while he would look out at the Appalachian Mountains and reflect. My dad is a dear soul. And this is something that he wrote in his 40s. And, I'm in my 40s, and it's like, whew, it shows how his perspective changed as tragic events unfolded and he surrendered to the flow. This is before tragedy happened. Lord, show me how to organize the time of my life well, to get both rest, enjoyment, and to also be of service to others, especially. So now I see my 40s going by. Strive to make every day count special, not just a day at work. And then he starts to list out things that he might be worried about and just his thoughts. You could tell a lot of his 40s were full of joy, but also worry. And then a lot of his 50s, he really started to take on a lot of things that he could not control. And it really started to weigh heavy on him. Now, I'm going to summarize really quickly why I'm telling you this, because my dad wrote in here until he was 63. And my dad, shortly after that, was able to retire. But when my dad retired, he had a tragic accident. So I'm saying I do know that tragedy can happen. The tragic accident caused him to be paralyzed from the chest down. And this, changed his life. So much. He could no longer stay in his home. We had all moved away, and he could no longer live with his wife, my mom. And I remember the day that he woke up and really realized that he had really lost all control. You have a choice in this moment. You can surrender, or you can fall victim to what's happened to you. His soul came to life, guys. It's like, instead of becoming bitter, layer by layer, did it take days and months? Yeah, but it was such a gentle and sweet process. It's like I began to see a version of my dad that I'd never seen. Like holding his hand was different than holding his hand before. Taking a walk with him with his electric wheelchair. So special. My dad appreciated everything.
I remember the last walk I went on with him before things got like really bad. Like he was in ICU for months after that. But Dad saw life through a lens of truly being present, surrender, love, gratitude. And it affected me and it affected everyone around him. I remember that last walk while he's, pushing his electric wheelchair. We're going around my neighborhood. He was like, he noticed every bird. He noticed every ladybug, the clouds in the sky, the mountains. He would always lift his fist up and he'd be like, this is the day that the Lord has made. The appreciation he had of life and his willingness to serve every day. Dad knew that if he woke up, he had a purpose and it was bigger than him. So what I'm saying is that we are called to serve, and our fears and our anxieties can get in the way. And our minds can jump into this judgment in a space and time in which these events are happening right away. And my dad was able to see past this because we right now don't see a bigger picture. So we look at events and we think it's the worst thing that could happen. And we think this could be very painful. And I thought that. I'm sorry, we can hear these lawn people even outside the house. Sorry. So loud. Even woke up Stan, my dog. But we think that this event is the worst thing that could happen. So think my dad could have woken up realizing that literally he can't move from the chest down, so he couldn't get out of bed by himself. The simplest of things, he had to learn to ask for assistance or learn to try to do by himself. And it could be very painful. And it's the pain that we do have to work through. But think about things that you have been through that have been painful. You can think months down the road or even years down the road. If that event had not happened, you would not be the stronger person that you are today, or it would not have moved you to that next event in life. My dad blossomed after that accident. My parents' relationship blossomed. His relationship with all of us. At my dad's celebration of life, and it was during COVID, so many people showed up, and the way that they expressed the impact that he had on them. That tragedy served my father a purpose. It happened for him, not to him. That's powerful. And even in my dad's darkest moments in ICU, he still had a spark in his eyes and was able to cheer up the ICU nurses. They would call him Dougie Fresh. And that is a ministry. Your life is a ministry. And it transformed my life. Truly transformed my life. So you don't just impact yourself, you impact everyone around you, every single person around you. If you are your true, authentic self, events will unfold for you. Our minds can slightly look like an immature child sometimes that will view events in the here and now and won't see in the beyond. And immediately we make judgments and we create stories. But if we have that inner knowing that life will unfold and there is a bigger picture, and that things do not happen to us, they happen for us. We are not a victim. We are a victor who is called to minister. We can let go of that fear. We can have an ease of peace and grace in the midst of the strongest storm. And my mom also is an example because she was able to stand beside my father and she would say things like adventure in adversity. It's like, oh, and she meant it too. You can shine in a storm and know it will pass. And if we stay in the path of judgment, though, with our minds, we suffer in that pain. And that pain becomes worse. And therefore, things happen to us and not for us. So we actually have that choice. And if it happens to us and not for us, we don't grow. Our head stays in the sand. But if we take the path of surrender and we know that things unfold for us and we grow from it and we learn and we see our events through that different lens, we let go of the fear that our life can transform and we can grow into our most sovereign selves by staying in alignment and following our intuition, knowing that our purpose is bigger than just us and that we can create a ripple effect that goes way beyond the span of our lifetime, and think that every event reveals itself to us over time. We start out like thinking that something might not be okay. And then we realize, well, wait a minute, we just need to reframe our thinking. Because think about it, think about all the times that we started out thinking, well, something might be really, really good. And then all of a sudden, and we think it's like the most loveliest thing, and we realize it's actually not beneficial in our life. Or if we think that something is not helpful, or that something's not helpful or something's really bad, and then we see that it's actually ended up moving us to where we needed to go in life. Our mind's really in the here and now. Our mind is not mature enough to make a judgment. So having that awareness, that we can't make these quick judgments with our minds in the moment. But if we can let go and know that our mind needs to let go in that path of surrender, and knowing that our life will unfold and we are here for a purpose, things happen for us, we can grow exponentially and make an impact on so many people. It takes the discernment to be at ease and the willingness to be aware of these thoughts and fears and emotions. And eventually, as we work through them, knowing there is a plan bigger than us. Even the awareness of these thoughts and our refusal to feed these thoughts, I mean, that's going to break us free into this flow of ease and surrender. So that is it, like finding that awareness of your thoughts of, oh no, I'm grasping onto fear. I'm trying to control. I am trying to, figure out what's going on next. I'm not present in the moment. I'm not embracing this. I'm not in alignment. There's no way I can serve in this moment, in this state of mind, and then surrendering to that. Your path will change immediately if you have that awareness, and you will break free into the flow of ease and surrender. And you can unfold these events and stay in line with yourself. And each day, things will be more clarified for you. You will get clarity. You will know what to do. And you'll know that what has not worked out for you will make sense later. And it will just take you one step at a time to move forward. Every single person, regardless of circumstances, can make a difference. If you are awake today, you are called to grow and give. I hope this helped you. We are all here for a reason. We all leave a mark. I am so glad to be here on this journey with you and to be in this dance of evolving. I am committed to continue to evolve. I'm sorry for all the small interruptions, but I do feel that this is probably my most genuine video that I have made. And I hope that I've impacted you today. And I encourage you to continue to grow and give. Peace.